Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors, and today we've got a crazy episode to talk about, and I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about Mina, not because I think that she's gonna do anything wrong, but because I think Charlotte, she's got a little glint in her eyes. She's up to no good, and I think she will end up stabbing Mina in the back, but more on that in a little bit. Before we get into the episode, if you are new here, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Join the channel. We do lots of reality show content over here: Big Brother, The Traitors, Survivor. We even do Dance Moms, and we've got some new channel specials coming up soon, such as Glee and The Next Step. So without much further ado, let us get straight into the episode and let's start talking theories, dispositions, and some other words that I probably don't know the meaning of. So, obviously, Charlotte accepted. She wasn't going to not accept. She literally started this season being like, I want to be a traitor. So, I think when the opportunity was handed to her, yeah, she would have been down for it 100%. However, I am just a little bit concerned about Charlotte because I feel like she has come into it at a very interesting point where Mina is just starting to be suspected. And now all she needs to do is just drop a few little seeds, let them grow, and then she's out of there. Mina's gone. And then Charlotte can be the only traitor left. But the issue that I'm facing at the moment is, obviously, who do they kill off? They gave us 3 names: Anna, Jake, and Lisa. Now, I said in the previous episode, I think Jake would be a wasted kill. I think everybody knows he's faithful, yes, but that doesn't mean that you should kill him straight away because it's the obvious pick. It's the obvious person that you're going to go with. So therefore, I actually thought Anna was the best choice. The reason why I think Anna's the best choice is because it's linked enough to Mina that it would look suspicious on her, but it's easy enough for her to talk her way out of it because Anna was accusing a load of people. A lot of people. And in the last episode, I said that I think Mina needs to do something that makes herself look a little bit more suspicious, puts herself in the spotlight so that she's able to defend herself and show people I am actually a faithful. And I think this was the perfect thing to do. I know a couple of you asked me in the comment section, well, what would you do in this situation? I was like, to be honest, I have no idea because I'm not in the game. But I would be trying to set up some controllable situation that makes me look suspicious but has a reasonable explanation and that I can defend securely and confidently without any slip-ups. Just make it really certain that I am a faithful, but people have that moment of doubt and then I can correct that doubt. That's how I would play the game, but obviously I don't know whether that would work with people, do you know what I mean? So at the breakfast table, we actually had some really awkward moments. Leanne and Alexander, after their little bicker at the round table, were bickering at the breakfast table. And I was like, do you know what? These two are just not destined to be best friends. And do you know what I find so funny about all of this? Is Leanne is like in her mid-30s, but she acts like a teenager, and it actually is quite funny to watch. I don't know what that's about, but just the way she huffs and puffs about the place is quite funny. It can be frustrating at times, but it is just quite funny to me, I can't lie. Then we've got Joe thinking, yo, I actually think that if they're going to have recruited at this point, it has to have been the ultimatum. It has to have been. But obviously the murder that they committed last night hides the fact that there's been a recruitment, which I actually do think is good for when it gets down to one player. I think the recruitment should always be obvious when it's not down to one player, but when it is, then it's a bit fair, isn't it? It's just fair at the end of the day. And then we have Leanne noticing that Leon is just a little bit distant now after the last sort of like few episodes, especially last episode when he came back in the coffin and was like, I don't trust any of your motherfuckers now. I don't like any of you, which I think is absolutely fair and valid. And then the last thing we found out before the person died was Charlotte is feeling very stressed. Obviously, as a brand new traitor, it's tough coming down to breakfast and being like, how do I act? How did I act yesterday? How can I replicate that? How can I... There's so many things going around in your brain that you're like, I actually just don't know what to do here. This is absolutely tense. This is absolutely crazy. What's going on in this here place? So they did decide to kill off Anna. And actually, I feel like this was the perfect choice. It was so smart, in my opinion. And I'll talk more about that in a second. But I thought that both Mina and Charlotte had very good reactions to Anna's death. Mina went up and she hugged Leanne and had a moment with Leanne, which I thought was really sweet and cute. I just thought that there's a real sense of connection between certain cast members and then no connection between other cast members. And it's so funny how Leanne is like so close with Mina and like one other person, and then she fucking hates everybody else. It's so funny to watch. Like, it actually is just hilarious. So just one sort of section of the episode I wanted to talk about was the whole Lisa and Alex and Mina situation. Lisa's sitting in the kitchen and she's like, Mina, Anna's death does kind of implicate you because of yesterday at the round table. And Mina goes, yeah, I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, oh, and then Lisa goes, but I don't think it is you because that would be far too obvious. And I was sitting there thinking, thank God that this plan is working. Because I've always said, kill the people who are coming after you and then have reasonable doubt. Well, it can possibly be me. Huh? What? Why would I kill the person that's coming after me? That doesn't make sense because that just implicates me further. That's the thing that you have got to do. That's the exact strategy. Obviously sparingly, you can't just take out all your enemies at once. But like, someone's coming after you hard, chopper, 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 gone. And then you can play the next day. Ugh, okay, I don't want them to go. Like, they were just having a, like, it's chill. Guys, it's not me. I promise, I promise. And Mina's doing that at the moment, and I actually think it's going really well. And then Alex starts piping up and has his first lines in, like, 8 episodes. And I'm like, okay, well, he's getting banished today. He's either going home or he's getting murdered. This is his last episode on the show because he's suddenly like, oh, I'm very opinionated. And I was like, are you? We have not seen that so far, bestie. I don't know how you feel like you've been edited, but it's not the way that you think you have been. Like, I'm sorry, but you just haven't really been here. Like, thank you for showing up in this episode, but you haven't really been here the whole season. And then Lisa had a really beautiful moment with Alex where she was like, I am so glad that I met you, etc, etc. And if I have to vote for you tonight, I hope you don't think that it's personal, etc, etc. I just thought, what a lovely, classy woman. What a lovely guy. And I liked the fact that apparently at Alex's wedding, both Linda and Lisa were there. But they obviously had to pretend like they just met on a holiday in Scotland, which I find really funny. They could be like, oh yeah, we're on the Traitors together. Nope, it was a holiday in Scotland, in the Orkney Islands. Yes. So guys, it is time for the mission, and this mission's always my favourite. Always, always, always my favourite, and I'm glad they bring it back every single year with a slight twist, a little difference, because it is the communication game. In the first season, we had the bells. In the second season, we had the bird noises. In this season, we had backwards nursery rhymes. Genuinely, might actually be the best one yet. I don't think anything was funnier than watching this challenge. There were 5 people put into the woods. Those 5 could have the chance to win a shield. And there were 6 people in the castle waiting to hear the backwards nursery rhymes. They had to go into a doll's house. The dolls would give them a backwards nursery rhyme. Then they'd transmit that. They'd learn it, transmit it to the people in the castle. They'd play it into a gramophone. The gramophone would reverse it, and then they'd be able to tell you what nursery rhyme it was. When I tell you, this was the funniest thing ever. You had Fran going, Schnaum now Buell. Which I was like, Schnaum now Buell. I was like, oh my god, this is the funniest thing in the world. But when it was reversed back, 3 Blind Mice, I was like, oh, where did that come from? That's kind of cool. But the funniest person in the entire competition at the moment for me is Alexander. The way he was like, ha 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 ha. And he was staring directly into the camera as well. Oh my god, it was such a brilliant episode because they were all going absolutely insane trying to learn these nursery rhymes. And then you've got the other people in the castle running around the castle going, Schnaw now, Bill, Schnaw now, Bill. Genuinely was hysterical. And then you've got Claudia adding it little interjections like, by the way, guys, Alexander's single. She's just so funny. She's so quick-witted with it. And I love that she takes the piss out of them as well. But they did manage to make 7,500 and Jake managed to get the shield, which I found very interesting. But he only told Fran and Joe, but Alexander kind of guessed it was Jake, which I found very interesting. So just remember that later on. Freddie doesn't know that Jake has the shield. Alexander's guessed that he has the shield, and Fran and Joe know that he has the shield. Okay? Just remember that. So it's probably worth mentioning a blunder that I didn't even consider to be a blunder, but everyone took to be a blunder, ran with it, and, well, we'll see how that turns out. But Alex was in the kitchen, and he was like, if we look at Linda's voting records, she hasn't actually thrown a traitor under the bus. And Joe was like, well, how could you possibly know that? And then he's like, massive slip up, guy's a traitor. Guy's obviously a traitor, he knows, obviously, because he knows that the traitors haven't been thrown under the bus by Linda. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, well, first of all, you didn't let him finish, because I'm assuming he was going to say with the Armani vote off, she did not vote off Armani, and so far she's voted off, or she's voted for people who have ended up dead, like Fozia, like, who did she vote in the last one? Was it Alexander, who's like kind of confirmed innocent at this point? I have to be honest, he's confirmed innocent. But if you look back at her track record of voting, it's been for people who have been banished and have been faithful, or who have been killed and been faithful. So her track record hasn't been throwing her fellow traitors under the bus, as far as we're aware. So why should that end last night when she went out? That was his point. But obviously everybody in that room was like, whoa, he's obviously a traitor. He knows. He's obviously a traitor. Massive blunder. And I was just sat there like, these guys are actually so dumb. It's unbelievable. Like, it actually is unbelievable. We're down to 11 people and you're this thick. Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough. I can't lie. And I am just a little bit disappointed. I can't lie. But let's get into the round table, I guess. So obviously, the round table starts with Joe bringing up Alex's slip up. And I just thought, oh, bless him. Because Joe's going in on him hard. Fran's piling in. Mina's piling in. And Alex is like, guys, genuinely, all I meant is that whenever she's been talking about traitors that we've found, such as Armani, she's used different language. She said XYZ instead of blatantly accusing them. In fact, if anything, Armani was defending Linda and Linda was defending Armani. So really, you can't take my words as seriously as you want them to. And I was just sat there like, oh my God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is just not good. And then Alex decided to turn it on to Freddie and be like, well, hang on a minute. What's all this about Leanne? What's going on? What's happened? I actually have no idea what this bit is about. I've written down Alex questioned Freddie and he went, what about Leanne? I'm guessing Freddie turned it on Leanne. I'm assuming that's what this was. Because I'm so confused, guys. My notes for last episode were not that good. Damn. Okay, well, apparently Anna's death may indict Alex. That was something that happened. I think it was, what's her name's theory that Lisa was like, oh, Anna indicted you, Alex, Mina, myself as traitors. So obviously the blame would fall on those three people. Obviously it's not me. So it could be one of you two, or we're being set up. And I think that's what people latched onto. They were like, well, hang on a minute. Anna's death may indict you because she brought up your name, Alex, and all of this extra evidence, etc., etc. And then Fran brings up the fact that, like, well, everyone who said your name has gone home. And I was like, ooh, everyone who said your name to me has gone home. Yeah, that would ring alarm bells to me. I can't lie. If I've got Kaz coming up, no, not Kaz. If I've got Livy coming up to me and being like, I think it's Alex, and then I've got Maya coming up to me and saying, I think it's Alex, and then I've got what's her face, Anna coming up to me and said, I think it's Alex, and all three of them are now dead. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, what's the common thread between all of them? They've all said it's Alex. That is concerning. I can't lie, and I think that is genuinely concerning. Now, she had to defend Alex somehow, but obviously not defend him, but sort of distract people from him. But Lisa decided to call out the following three people. Charlotte, because she feels like she's grown in confidence since the start of the game, which I think everybody has. I think everybody came in very meek and... but now everyone knows each other. I feel like confidence does grow in these kind of situations. So I felt like that was a poor excuse, but she did call out a traitor. Again, right method. No, right answer, wrong method. She's got the Anna technique there. Then we got Mina, and she's like, I just think you got the world on your shoulders. You just look stressed all the time. And I was like, actually... yeah, fair game. Yeah, you kind of clocked her there, I can't lie. And then she was like, and Leon, well, obviously I just think you're a traitor from the whole deathmatch game. And I was like, again, I can see the theory. The working theory there is that there was a traitor in that group, so it must be between Leon and Alexander. And I actually think that that is a decent theory that the Faithfuls will lose because of. And I think that the Faithfuls are definitely being set up by the traitors. The traitors have done a fantastic job. An absolutely blinding job, because they've managed to pull the wool over the eyes. And it's incredible. I'm very impressed. So anyway, we then get Leanne asking why Leon has changed, why he's defensive all of a sudden. And I actually think he defended himself very, very well. He was basically like, look, I went into that cage genuinely not knowing who put me there. So I've had to reanalyze every single person in this game, and I've decided I don't want to be close to any of you. I don't trust anybody. That's why I'm cold now, and I don't want to engage necessarily in these silly little friendship things because I don't trust anybody anymore. And Leanne was like, oh, boo-hoo, wah-wah. And then he turned it on to Alex, Alexander, and Freddie, saying that those were his three subjects. Now, Joe then was like, I'm 50-50 on Leon. But I feel like Leon did a good thing there by turning it on to other people and giving up like reasons as to who he thinks it is. And I think it's something that both Mina and Charlotte now need to be aware of. I think they need to have theories of who they think it is that aren't just group consensus ones. They need to start throwing names out, because that's what the traitors are looking... that's what the Faithful are looking for. The Faithful are looking for people who are throwing names out because it makes them feel a little bit better that they might be Faithfuls and they might be looking for a traitor. Like, if you look at Linda and Armani, both of them couldn't give up a name even if they tried because they didn't want to indict someone like Faithful. So really, we need to start looking at, well, who can we logistically blame and who can we put in the hot seat and have as our main suspicions. That's what those two need to sort out. So I felt like the writing was on the wall in this round table, but let's go to voting time. Lisa voted for Leon, Freddie voted for Alex, Alex voted for Freddie, Charlotte voted for Leon, Jake voted for Alex, Alexander voted for Alex, Mina voted for Alex, Leanne voted for Alex, Leon voted for Alex, Fran voted for Alex, and Joe voted for Alex. So that is Alex with 8 votes, Leon with 2, Freddie with 1. We're getting down to it. There's only 10 people left in the game, which is kind of crazy, I can't lie. We've come from 25 to 10 in 8 episodes, which is absolutely wild and crazy. But I do think that Alex, as much as I don't think he's a great loss to the show, because he wasn't really edited in, I do think this is going to be a massive turning point for the way that the Faithful start viewing the game. Because they have been picking up on these little things and just banishing people over them. But actually, as we've seen in the past, apart from Linda, there aren't traitors that have massive blunders. No traitor, apart from Linda, has had a massive blunder that's caused them to get exposed. As far as I remember. I mean, there might be like a few moments that added together have caused reasonable doubt. But other than that, it just doesn't really happen that often. And so I feel like people need to stop picking up on like one line that they've said and are banishing them over, because it doesn't work like that. The game can't be played like that, but it is what it is at the end of the day. So before we head into the turret, we have got to talk about some more suspicions. Very, very quick fire. We're just going to reel them off. Leanne is adamant that it must be Leon or Alexander, and I think that could be the next two banishments. Leon and then Alexander, or Alexander then Leon. They're going to follow that pipeline through to the end. Jake questions whether Frankie may be a traitor or not. I don't think Frankie's a traitor. Well, obviously we know she's not a traitor, but I don't think I would in that situation, because as much as she has been instrumental in getting a couple of faithfuls out, it hasn't been as she hasn't been as gung-ho as some other people have. Like, if you look at Joe, he's now led the charge on two very, very clear faithfuls, Kaz and the other one that we just lost, Alex. So therefore, like, are we gonna start putting Joe in the hot seat? No, everyone thinks he's innocent. So why are we now looking at Fran? I don't really understand the goal there. And then last but not least, we have Freddie telling Charlotte that he thinks it's Mina, and Mina's like, do you know what? I'm not going to tell Mina. I'm going to keep that to myself. And I thought, you sneaky devil, because you're going to come and you're going to backstab Mina, and I can just see it happening, and I'm so unhappy because Mina's doing a fabulous job. So in the turret, the three names that were brought up were Joe, Jake, and Lisa. Now, if you remember, Joe and Jake were part of the group that could have a shield, and Charlotte and Mina do not know who has the shield. So I'm a little bit concerned that they've gone for Jake. I think Joe's the smart kill. I think Joe would really mix everything up and would really shock people. I think Lisa, at this point, taking her out, I think it would do more harm than good, personally. And then we've got Jake, who you just don't want to go for because he's got the shield. However, I was awake until like 2, 3 a.m. last night because I was lying in bed doing the maths. And if there's 10 people left, there'll be 9 people. If there's a murder tonight, 9 people going into the next episode. Which means there has to be, if there's going to be 5 in the finale, there has to be 1 missed murder. 1 missed murder. And I feel like it's going to be tonight. I feel like they've gone for Jake. He's got the shield. And I do think this could be a game-ending move. This could fuck them up, like, really badly. Because, like I said, I did the maths, and the maths was working out that we would have 4 people at the finale if we did a murder and a banishment each episode, excluding the final murder, because they don't do a final murder when it gets to top 5. But I had final 5 round table in episode 11, and I was like, that's not right. That's episode 12. So I do think that there is going to be a missed murder at some point, or they have to recruit again and they can't murder. I don't know, but something is going to happen and it is going to get a bit techie. But that is all we've got time for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all of that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well, and I will see you guys later in the next episode, whenever that may be. Probably Monday, let's be honest. But until then, make sure to keep on ranting, and I will see you guys later. Bye now. See ya.